according to the most recent data available from the National Bureau of Statistics, the country's population is growing at a rate of 2.5%, and the real GDP growth rate is likewise at 2.5%. These findings are cause for concern, as they clearly indicate a stagnant economy. Economist Andrew Uviase, managing partner of Ecovis OUC Chartered Accountants, shared these insights in an interview. Uviase expressed worry over the parallel growth rates of the Nigerian population, which is at 2.5%, and the real GDP at 2.5%, emphasizing that these signals are stagnating economy. He pointed to the changing age distribution of the population and the deteriorating state of infrastructure, suggesting that the present results may indicate a worrisome decline in the well-being of citizens. Now, to further discuss this, I'm being joined by Chief Economist Streetnomics, Gospel Obele. Good afternoon, Gospel, and thank you so much for joining me on the news.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, so Nigeria's population is growing at a rate of 2.5%, and so also is the real GDP growth, at 2.5%. Now, how true is this?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's really evident. I also do think that the population numbers are still grossly underestimated, because you still don't have there's no national data collection strategy or national approach. You say this is the XYZ number of babies that are being, that are delivered every hour or within the hour from XYZ primary healthcare centers, scaling that across the 36 states. So, so safe to say that the population numbers are underestimated, and in some fair sense as well, that the population growth is also fairly underestimated. So I was seeing it, with a strong youth market, with the fact that more young people are getting married now. You have more young people in the Gen Z block. You have more young people generally coming into the sphere. More babies are being born right now. So we don't have the data to actually tell. But I mean, population is constantly on a growth rate, and I also think that the Nigerian economy is not catching enough in terms of now. Safe to say as well, with the way the Nigerian economy is currently structured, you're likely to have more population either at par with GDP or slightly outnumbering GDP, or slightly moving so fast that GDP economic activities may not be able to contain in terms of providing the necessary standard of living for that growing population. Also, to take again within the context that what we have to a large extent in Nigeria is economic activity. Economic activity does not necessarily signify that there is economic productivity. So you could be active, but active in the wrong direction, or you could be active, but you're not maximizing the potential of what that activity can become in terms of opportunities and all that. So you still need infrastructure in Nigeria. Industrialization is a big deal. There's a huge services sector block economy that's still grossly underutilized, that is not organized enough for profits and scalability. The market and to be expansive. So you still have that underrepresentation slash.
All right, talking about that sector that you said is underutilized. Now, you'd agree that according to data, Nigeria has a high rate of unemployment, but also it has a large working population as well, which has been noted as a plus. Now, do you think that job creation would ease the negative prediction, and is government doing anything to, increase? Are they doing anything? Are they doing enough on this particular front?
Yeah, I mean, unemployment is rising and significantly really high, as well as underemployment. That's talking about that young people are underutilized or underpaid, or not finding enough satisfaction that meets their creative capabilities or expression as an individual or as individuals. All right. So I do not think that there is enough strategic efforts towards, number one, industrializing. Number two, there is not enough strategic efforts towards growing the Nigerian market to be able to take the chunk of young people who are constantly evolving in skills or constantly needing jobs or trying to even transition within their careers. Again, that talks about the fact that lots of sectors in Nigeria are still grossly underdeveloped. All right, so take for instance, now you train a lot of young people on data, Python, and all of that, but the market for that is not almost non-existent right now in Nigeria. How many opportunities do you have in Nigeria that can take data scientists? All right, they're almost non-existent. So you have a situation where young people are looking for other options, probably working remotely and all that. So yes, that we are not working as fast enough to create the right jobs, not just to create jobs, but the right jobs that will meet or identify with the evolving capacity, needs, aspirations, and expectations of the average Nigerian. You also have a rising block of young people who are within the informal employment block, who can't necessarily find opportunities because they've not gone to universities, but they are talented, they can sell, they have basic business skills, but they've not had the opportunity to put on the skills and get into the mainstream. So there's a lot that still needs to happen in terms of not just providing the job, but facilitating an army of young people to be able to provide jobs and provide sustainable opportunities within the
All right,
opportunity,
still on that, and not to actually break your chain of thought. Now, the Ministry of Digital Economy has embarked on a campaign to create jobs by teaching Nigerians skills that are relevant in the 21st century. Now, do you think these trainings are being sought after, and how will that impact the level of job creation in Nigeria as well?
Well, number one is the fact that there is no awareness. So whatever the ministry is doing has to evolve to a point where you're not just announcing the trainings and opportunities you have, but also announcing the benefits of these opportunities to the lives of young people, and also matching their needs to those benefits / the opportunities that are being created right now. And within the larger context of things, begin to think of not just the skills angle. You don't just want to train people, but you also want to think of the end game. End game meaning after training them, where are they going to be deployed, and what would they be doing there? And is there a path for them to evolve as well? So we talked about the market angle of things. So there has to be much more collaboration between the ministries, the monetary authorities, the fiscal authorities, subnational governments, to ensure that markets are constantly evolving. And this is not a hard nut to crack. Pick the top line sectors that you want to develop them with the right investment, with the right more players in the sector, and all of that. And they begin to ensure that your digital culture and communication dynamics sits at the heart of that. So that as you train more people, there's an outlet to receive them. Otherwise, what will happen is that they will train more young people. These young people will get on Fiverr and begin to do jobs in dollars. And after a couple of times, they'll probably leave the country. All right. So they'll be training more people who would evolve to leave the productivity or labor market, as it were, by virtue of technology work, remote work, or even leaving the country. So there has to be an end-to-end approach towards our interventions. It's not just enough to deploy AI or get more people involved in AI, but where are the opportunities for them to engage AI in Nigeria, and how do they evolve in these opportunities in Nigeria?
All right, well, thank you so much, Gospel, for joining me on the news to discuss this. We appreciate you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good day.